Hello everyone. Today we're gonna go over, it's gonna be like last video, but we're gonna go over the garbage jungle. So all these scavenger fights, we're gonna go through them and tell you what some good units you need. What are, mostly we're trying to look for teams that are free to play friendly for the most part, and by free to play friendly, what we are going for is no LD5s and no nat 5s and no LD nat 4s. I keep saying I did that in the last one too. So let's start with the water scavenger. I think most people have teams for this at this point, but I still think it's a great idea to go through these and find teams that everyone can use. And as typical, some of them might show nat 4s you don't have, and we'll go over replacements. Typically the nat 4, like in the last video, it was the spreader one. And the nat 4 everyone, or the nat 4 every team had was like the tree bookworm. And you can replace that with any AoE unit pretty much. You just need it to be able to clear those ads on the side. But this one, what is the gimmick for this one? It's a shield, right? Healing shield to protect. Yeah, it's just a shield. Alright. So let's see, let's find ourselves a free to play friendly team. Any without the tree gunslinger? It's gonna be hard to find one without the tree gunslinger for the water one, just because it's best in slot, so all of these are probably gonna have it. But let's do this. Actually, this one looks great. He doesn't even have a thing on here, like on here. But oh, never mind, that has the light LD4. Okay, let's find next closest. This one could work. And like we said, yes, it does have the tree gunslinger, but we'll find a replacement. What a good replacement for tree gunslinger would be, for the water one specifically. Let's look in here. Let's see. Is there anything specific? And this is me actually thinking, guys. Like, I didn't come in here knowing what would be a good unit. Normally people would replace her with the gunslinger with the sharpshooter, but that team that we're looking at already has the tree sharpshooter and the dark one. So, I mean, maybe replace it with like the water one. I don't know how useful the water one can be. I'm not sure. Maybe you could do the grass clockwork. He hits really damn hard, especially since he ignores defense and he's a buffer, so I'm sure you could find some success using that. But anyways, let's go back and let's watch the team. So where is it? Was this third one? Was it? Yeah, it was this third one. So let's watch the team. Go over team order and everything. Let's see. Typically you want your buffers first, so we'll see what they do. Yep, buff, and then damage. And then, so yeah, what they do typically is they have their buff units, they go first, then you have your DPS, and then you have your cooldown reduction go last. So obviously it's most efficient to have your cooldown reduction reduce cooldowns of everyone rather than just some. So yeah. And the reason I think you can replace some of these units is because of the fact that I'm looking typically at the high luck teams, and with these high luck teams, what you can do is you can take out some of the luck to put in more stats on your units to make these runs go faster, more efficient, safer, all of that. Yeah, it looks to be smooth so far. Another thing is actually I don't know if you could just take him out because he is a lot of the damage, but you might be able to just put another unit in the front row to make it a little safer. And another thing you'll notice in a lot of these, you reuse the same units. You're probably going to have a fire clockwork, a dark sharpshooter, and a tree turtle tank in just about every dungeon. Like, they are just beyond useful. Typically you would have tree gunslinger in a lot of them too, but obviously I'm going to try to avoid those teams if I can find them. And like I said in the last video, the reason I'm not using my own personal teams is because I don't have teams fully built up, but I still feel it is a good idea to get a video out for everyone to see what units are good and how you can possibly build up to these. So let's see. I mean, it's going strong so far. I mean, you don't need 5 million damage. Like, this team has extra damage for sure. You could definitely get away with probably removing that tree gunslinger. It would just make it a lot slower because you're not going to deplete the health bar that quick. But yeah, 5.3 million damage for that. So yeah, let's go on to the fire scavenger. And look in here. Which one would be best for free to play? Score? This is another one where it's going to be a little difficult because Water Nurse is so good for just buffing your damage units that it's pretty much in all these top teams. But it's definitely replaceable. Once again, these are definitely not, you have to have this, this, and this unit. The only ones that are pretty much like you need for most of these consistent teams is the Dark Sharpshooter and the Fire Clockwork. Those are pretty much essentials. Just because it's a really cheap and easy buffer unit. The Fire Clockwork's really good. If you don't know why, check out my short actually on him, but basically luck rate equals more buffs. So let's, I can't find it. This might be the best one, but you would just replace the Water Nurse for another damage dealer. So let's watch it though. Let's see how this goes. Let's see the turn order once again, just to reiterate how it goes. Yep, buffs, buffs, damage. Damage, cooldown, cooldown, yep. So another thing, if you don't have either of the water robot or the water ghost captain, you could maybe replace it for the tree turtle tank, but I'm not 100% sure just because of the fact that it is a tree in a fire dungeon. It might just get nuked. You might have to make it extremely tanky. I think the fire water robot also has cooldown reduction, so he might be pretty useful. Water giant's really nice because he just takes like a percentage reduced damage, which is kind of busted honestly for a three star. Yeah, the Water Nurse is definitely replaceable. I'm 90% sure it's just buffing the damage of the Dark Sharpshooter. Yeah, okay, it definitely is. But definitely replaceable. I mean, it's damage, and it is a little bit of healing, but trust me, that healing doesn't really add up to much. You could just add in another damage unit and be fine. So yeah, let's see. I think it's gonna end with like 4.6. Oh no, it's gonna end with like 4.3 million damage. Still really good. Really, really good for sure. But notice how all these successful runs, they always have buffs up. Like, they always have a damage buff up. They always have the crit buff up. In this case, they have the defense buff and healing over time buffs. But you're not typically going to have every unit for those. But what makes a successful run is basically turn order and damage. And turn order equals a lot of your damage. So, ooh, wait, this is a run of how it goes bad too. And it's still a successful run? Wait. That's kind of crazy though. I did not expect this. I haven't watched all of these in advance. But the fact that it killed the backline units and this is still like one of those runs kind of shows how you can go about it. I mean, just look how tanky this front line is. That's crazy. It's like all those heal over time buffs and just the heal from the giant as well. It just keeps the team so healthy. Yeah. So yeah, that looks pretty good for this. They finish it up already. I don't want to like leave. It's like at the very last bit of HP. Alright, I'm leaving. We know it works. Obviously, that's why it's in here. So next, we have the tree scavenger. Let's see how this... There's not a lot of teams for all these two, that's the other thing. So, there will be better teams in the future. And as soon as I can find better teams for these, I will cover them. Obviously, I'll try to at least. No promises. So, look at it. This looks like a pretty good free-to-play team. I mean, granted, you have 2 LD units, so let's look if we can not have that, but I think 2 LD nat 3s is going to be a lot better than a team with nat 4s and 5s. Yeah, let's go over this. I think that's cool. So, yeah, let's send it. Was it triple clockwork? Hell yeah. I know the dark clockwork is used in a one of the Sea of Decay dungeons, so he's a overflow unit, or a, what is it, reusable unit. Same with the tree turtle tank, he's just common, and the fire clockwork, the fire sharpshooter, and the water ghost captain are also commonly used. So the only new unit for this specific run is the light clockwork, which I think you can replace. Damn, he hasn't beefed up. Was that 100k? Oh, it's in the takedown phase. Never mind. But yeah, just try to... And this video isn't necessarily about specifically, like, you have to have units A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, it's more so concepts, right? You have the fire clockwork, he's your damage buffer, he's a good damage buffer. You have your turtle tank, which is your cooldown reduction, and you typically have 1 or 2 of those cooldown reduction units, and then you have damage dealers. That's the main takeaway from all of this. Like, I would say in this team, you should be able to get rid of your light clockwork and put dark sharpshooter, which is used in every other team. So don't hesitate to try and mess around to find a team that works with your units. The one thing I will say is make sure every unit you're using is level 60, because these bosses do not fuck around. Like, look, they just killed one of the frontline units. They don't fuck around, they will just kill you. Like, the damage they send or do is absurd at times. So yeah, that was a good one for the tree. Let's move on to the light scavenger. Find ourselves another team for this. So no, this one's, I think that's gonna have to be it. So you have 1 nat 4 and then 3 LD nat 3s. I can't remember, is the dark sharpshooter given to you? I know the light one is, I can't remember what the dark one is though. I just know like almost everyone has it. I swear like almost everyone has it. Let's see. The water robot is another cooldown reduction unit, so and it's a healer, so you could maybe replace that with the water ghost pirate, but I'm not too sure because of the fact that he is a healer. So overall, I mean, these teams seem pretty similar. The concepts are the same, like almost exactly the same. You should be able to get through these all fine. And the reason you see dark sharpshooter for these is because it allows you to get your damage really easily, because you have the defense down and mark. Like, it's not going to help during this phase that much. I mean, it is damage, but, and you have the team up, but it's not everything you would exactly want. So let's see how much damage we think, and I'm thinking it's gonna be like 4.1 at this point. And of course, as I say that, they hit for like 200,000, like 4.2 million, 4.3 maybe. Yeah, it's just gonna be above 4 mil. That's what my guess is at this point. So yeah, I don't really understand if the shield mechanic is just burst it down as soon as possible, or if it's a do as many hits to as possible. I'm pretty sure it's like hit it as few times as possible for as much damage as possible to break it. And I think the radioactive desert, I think that's the one where you want to do a bunch of multi-hits. But yeah, that's the light scavenger. So on to our final one, the dark scavenger. I'm gonna need to build a team for this because I want to get some good discover gear eventually. Also trying to build an HQ team, which is not fun. Like, I'm still trying to find a consistent HQ team. So if anyone has one, feel free to share in the comments for everyone. I can make a video on it if you have a good one, but yeah, I just need a solid team for it. If we're going based off of other units used, this is pretty much all of them. I mean, except the tree clockwork, but yeah, let's look at this one. It's interesting. I want to see how hard they can get that tree clockwork to hit. And you should be able to. Oh no, because he's part of the. Wait, there's no fire clockwork. Huh? Wait, that's weird. This team's built a little weird. They have 3 cooldown reductions and no fire clockwork. It still follows the general theme of it, of buff, damage, and then cooldown reduction, but I don't think you need 3 cooldown reductions. I think you could definitely replace one of these guys for more healing or more damage, whichever you think would help you best. I think fire clockwork is better than tree clockwork because he has a heal buff as well, or a healing over time buff, and you get it through luck rate, which is really nice for these dungeons as well. So it's just a 2-in-1. That's why he's so commonly used as a buffer. I guess we'll look after this run if anyone else uses fire clockwork, because there might be a reason. But if there's other teams that run it, then I think you could replace specifically the tree one with the fire one, because I think the yellow one's built for damage here. So yeah, all these teams have pretty much the same thing in common though. High damage, relatively safe. There was the one that wasn't too safe, but it still got through. I mean, so let's see. Yeah, 4.1 million damage. Only 1 unit died. Let's see. Fire Claw. Yeah, okay, yeah. Definitely would recommend you replace this guy, because I mean, he's attack up, or maybe you need the speed. I don't know, because speed shouldn't matter in these. I think they just get turn meter, or I think the boss gets action bar based on how many turns are taken, not necessarily based on yours. So yeah, that will do it all for this scavenger guide. So if you found it useful, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment as well, whatever you feel like doing. And thank you guys for watching. So peace.